It was a Friday, 7th period, the final class before spring break. Everyone was restless, counting down the minutes to freedom. In our calculus class, the vibe was light. We weren't expecting a test like many other students. Our easygoing teacher decided to play a quiz game on sporkle.com with us, and we all relaxed into the fun. That is, until everything changed in an instant. What really happened next would haunt us all. The dean's voice suddenly cut through the loudspeaker, shaky and panicked. "This is not a drill! Lock down immediately!" Goosebumps covered my arms as even our laid-back teacher jumped to action, shutting the lights and rushing us to the corner of the classroom. In seconds, everything turned silent. 2 minutes passed, the kind of silence that thickens the air. Then we heard it. A buzzing panel in the back of the room stopped, signaling the school had shut off power. That's when fear set in. Just as our minds started racing, we heard screaming from the hallway. Not just yelling, deranged, blood-curdling shrieks. Caught on camera or not, no one would believe how close we came to danger. A man was pounding lockers and shouting, "I'll kill all of you!" 2 girls in our class broke down crying. The screams grew louder, and suddenly, fists hammered on our classroom door. One of the crying girls screamed, "No!" as the door shook violently. We froze, breathless, while he screamed, "Open up!" over and over. Then the pounding stopped. The screams faded as the lunatic moved down the hall, still ranting. 10 minutes later, though it felt like an hour, the dean came back on the loudspeaker. How it all fell apart was shocking. A mentally unstable man had entered the school and attacked the front desk receptionist. Staff didn't know if he was armed, so the school initiated lockdown procedures. No security, no cameras, just blind chaos. Even worse, later that night, a janitor found the man asleep in a storage closet. Rumors swirled that a .44 Magnum was sticking out of his pocket. He escaped before police arrived. To this day, none of us know if he was ever caught. But sometimes, I wonder if he's still out there. I had just graduated college and landed a tech internship at my old high school, working in the basement server room. The place was a mess, but our little office space was cozy. Desks, AC, even a flat screen. My 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, were upstairs that day. I was enjoying lunch when my phone buzzed. It was the front office. Lockdown. Someone possibly armed is in the school. I froze. There was no door on our office, and the basement door didn't even lock. I switched off all the lights and screen, hiding in the dark. What really happened next is the stuff of nightmares. I sat silently, texting Dave and Gary, but got no replies. Suddenly, the basement door creaked open. I held my breath. Someone came running down the stairs. Footsteps neared the office, and I dove under the desk. The intruder walked in, didn't turn on the lights, and just stood there. I couldn't breathe. Then, my phone dinged. The sound sliced through the silence like a scream. The footsteps crept closer. In full panic, I leapt from under the desk, hands up, begging not to be hurt. The man grabbed my arm. He wore a red plaid shirt and a dark cap. He said, "It's okay. I'm just hiding too." I came to pick up my son. His story didn't sit right. I asked who he was again. Before he could respond, I checked the text on my phone. It was from Dave. "Dude, this is insane. Some guy with a gunshot, Mr. Buckley. Red shirt, red hat, don't come upstairs." I froze. The man saw my face change. I bolted for the stairs. A gunshot rang out behind me, echoing off the metal in the basement. How it all fell apart nearly ended in my death. Luckily, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement. They tackled the man as soon as he stepped out. Mr. Buckley survived the shooting. No one ever learned why he was targeted. But the sound of that gunshot still haunts me. And every time I walk into a quiet room, I remember how close I came to never walking out again. It was early October, and the skies matched the mood, gray, cold, and wet. During the first lunch period, everything felt normal. 6th and 7th graders were chatting and eating when suddenly 4 loud booms-ooms echoed across the campus. At first, I thought it was thunder, but then chaos erupted. Screams tore through the cafeteria as campus security stormed in, yelling at everyone to get inside the multi-purpose room. Students dropped their lunches and ran. What really happened was far from natural. I followed a group into the massive glass-walled room. Security scrambled to pull curtains over the windows. Teachers stood guard at every door. Everyone whispered, asking what was going on. My friend Eric came back after talking to a teacher, face pale. He told us, "You know those houses in front of school? There's a man out there. He's threatening to shoot himself and cops if he's evicted." Our jaws dropped. Caught on camera by police surveillance, the man was reportedly watching the school earlier that day, behaving oddly. Then Eric added something that made our skin crawl. The man was a registered sex offender. We were locked in that room for over an hour while officers tried to de-escalate the situation. We missed 2 periods. The tension in the air was unreal. Eventually, students were escorted back to class in small groups. But the story didn't end there. My friend Brandy later told me that this same man lived next door to her. Last Halloween, she saw him at his window, cutting his arm and writing in blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you." Everyone thought it was a twisted Halloween prank. But now, how it all fell apart was horrifyingly clear. This man had been spiraling for a long time, and no one did anything. We were lucky he never stepped foot on campus. But that day, everyone realized just how close danger really was. You just heard 3 true horror stories that unfolded in places we all thought were safe. If this video left you speechless, imagine living it. Let us know in the comments which story shook you the most. And if you want more terrifying tales caught on camera or whispered through rumor, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because next time, the horror might come closer than you think. This is Horror Stories, where the nightmare never ends.